Hi, I'm Polly Muffin. Even though I didn't graduate from an art school, I've been making a living as a game artist, at least until about a year ago. Since I don't have a formal art education and learned the job through hands-on experience, I had to research and teach myself most things along the way. Now I want to organize what I've learned and share it with you as a short video series, and also archive it here.
In this series, I will generally talk about many topics, such as the division of labor in the game industry, how different departments work with each other, where to start, what you will need, fundamental art, and the myth of talent in the gaming world.
Now, just because I said that, don't expect something overly comprehensive. Of course, this is YouTube. I can't tell you anything you don't already know. There will probably be some incorrect or incomplete parts, but even AI making mistakes. I'm a human after all. Okay, let's begin. Now, first of all, what is the place of art in video games? Also, who are these artists? Are video games art? Do they even have artists? And how can I become one of them? I will try to answer questions like these. To answer this question, we first need to know the answer to another question. What is art? Is it beauty? Is it provocation? Is it a person wearing what suits them? Or is it just anything that meets the condition of being exhibited in a museum? It's a bit of a confusing situation because art has never had a universally accepted definition. Therefore, can we call video games a combination of many forms of artistic expression coming together to create something that transcends any single genre? I think we can.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I will try to look at this from a more international perspective, but most of you will see, or have already seen, that the expectations of each company differ in game artist job postings. So we'll detail that in the How to Create a Portfolio section. Let's put that aside for now. Now, we can basically define game art as all the elements you see and hear while playing a game. Now that we've sorted that out, let's get to how is this work done? When we start a game, the first thing that catches our attention is its visuals. Since our visuals will literally be the face of the game, they are your main tool for conveying what you want your audience to know. That's why it's so important. So, is the job of game artists just about making games look pretty?
Good guess, but actually no.
The art and gameplay of a game are so intertwined that art acts as a complement to enhance the core functions of a game. At this very point, game art must serve these three main principles: clarity, satisfaction, and style. Now, let's briefly look at what these three principles mean. By clarity, we actually mean clearly communicating to the player what is happening in the game. Things like knowing which direction to go, where you are, who is an ally and who is an enemy, and how much health you have. This is all critical information that needs to be immediately understandable to the players. Think of a crowded team fight in a MOBA game, like League of Legends or Dota 2, or a hack-and-slash game where numerous enemies attack you at the same time. Without effective clarity, it would be very easy to lose track of your character amidst the chaos on screen. The players who will play your game will have a lot of information to understand in a short amount of time, and it's important that you can convey it clearly. Satisfaction means giving clear feedback to player actions. This can range from an instant change when a button is pressed, making the player feel good when they succeed and bad when they fail, to the sound of picking up an item or the animation of unlocking a new skill. Every action in the game needs to be responsive and satisfying when you interact with it. Style. As you know, Every game has a different style of art, different colors, character designs, environments, the proportions used, how realistic or stylized it is, and so on. Through the style you choose, you actually decide what emotion your game will convey. For example, let's consider Valorant and Counter-Strike. Although they are very similar in terms of gameplay, their art styles are quite different. Valorant has much more color, the character proportions are more stylized, and it evokes a slightly lighter experience. On the other hand, Counter-Strike is less colorful, with real-world weapons and environments, and is more serious in tone. Just changing the art style makes the game's experience very different. By the way, of course, you don't just have two options like stylized and realistic. You know there are many varieties. A separate video will be coming just on the topic of style for this. But I'm ending it here for now. In the next episode, we will look at this topic of style in more detail. See you later.